and she was yelling and just like grabbing things like this, like 5 minutes straight. And that started to get me freaked out. I'm like, what's going on with my wife?
Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. You might have noticed that this channel is not called Empowering Creativity anymore. If you would like to see more poetry, spoken word, and faith things like that, you can still follow me on Instagram because that's where I will be doing all of that. So you can follow at empowering.creativity. We decided to call this channel The Traveling Weirdos because, well, we're traveling and we're kind of weird. So with all of that being said and out of the way, let's get into the story.
Are you a hippie, Georgian hippie? Hey, buddy. So I think it started because on Thursday we got the COVID vaccine, we got Pfizer vaccine, right? Mm-hmm. I think I had at first just a reaction to the COVID vaccine for a few days, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I think around Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday afterwards, I think I actually had COVID somehow. I think my immune system was weaker for whatever reason. Then I actually got COVID. But then what happened is I think you got it from me and you had never had it before. So you started to have much more serious symptoms. You started having a sore throat. And then it got particularly bad on Friday.
I felt a lot of pain in my chest, in like my heart area. I was very congested, like normal cold symptoms, but more intense. My heart was in a lot of pain. It was beating really, really fast. And I've had panic attacks before and it felt like a panic attack, kind of. So I kept telling myself, like, just breathe, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and you'll be okay. But my heart was not calming down at all. My heart was having these palpitations, and then I started to get some tingling in my hand. It felt like it was really hard to breathe. When my heart was racing really, really fast and I was trying to breathe, but it felt like nothing was working, that's when I told Peter, like, I think something is really, really wrong. We need to call 112, which is 911 in Georgia. Peter was reading something that someone had sent him, that if you lie on your stomach, it will help with the breathing. So I laid on my stomach. But then when I did that, I started to lose my vision. It almost felt like I was going to faint, but I knew that I wasn't going to faint, if that makes sense. I saw stars everywhere, and it was really scary. So I said, Peter, I can't see. Like, I could see that he was there, but it was really weird. Like, my vision was just not entirely there. After that, I actually don't really remember anything that happened after that. I have like bits and pieces of being in the ambulance, and Peter told me that I was resisting him as he was trying to take me down to the ambulance, and I vaguely remember that, but it just feels like I was in a dream, and that's kind of what I thought in the moment too, was like, I'm in a dream.
What happened then is, so Anna basically, she was just sitting next to me. She wasn't really saying anything. And then suddenly, I think somewhere along, like, maybe 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes after she said she couldn't see, she suddenly just started yelling. And she was yelling and just like grabbing things like this, just grabbing stuff and just yelling for like 5 minutes straight. And that started to get me freaked out. I'm like, what's going on with my wife? Like, if she did it for a few seconds, I'd be like, okay, she's just, I don't know. But she just kept going and going and just kind of grabbing stuff and like just twisting and turning and yelling. And then I'm trying to call the emergency operator, 112, and I called them like 3 times. And each time I called, they have to transfer me to the English person. I don't remember exactly what happens, but Anna just started acting incoherently. She vomited at one point just unexpectedly. she was just walking around babbling and just saying things incoherently. So I'm getting pretty freaked out. Got Anna dressed, had to get her shoes on, get out the door, down the elevator. And then, like she said, when she got out the front, she was generally going with me, but at some point in time, she started to really resist me. Like she didn't want to walk for it. I had to like push her to keep going. We got to the ambulance, and I explained to them what happened. So then finally, we got to the hospital, and they had to try to sedate you, but it was hard to sedate you. And then they eventually had to put like restraints on you because you weren't trying to stay there. Even in the ambulance, you were supposed to be lying down on the kind of bed they had, but you kept trying to get up, and I kept saying, no, just lie down. It's okay, just lie down. And so you kind of listened to me. Once I was gone, you turned into a bad girl, and like yelling and fighting and stuff like that.
If you know me, then you know that that's not my personality at all. And so when Peter told me that I had to be restrained and that I was like screaming and yelling, I was really surprised. I was like, that couldn't have been me.
So all night long, we stayed at the hospital waiting, and they're doing tests, they're doing a CAT scan. They thought you had encephalitis, but then also your MRI came back clear. So then I think they eventually ruled that out. Anna, what's your name? Oh, and who do you love? Peter. Oh, that's what we like to hear. And then Sunday I was back again. Brought some stuff for you, right?
Yeah.
Like your phone. And you called me, and so that was really nice to get a call from you and talk to you for a little while. And then I think you called your parents on Sunday too. By Monday, I guess you were better, or somewhat better, but you tested positive for COVID, so they moved you to a COVID hospital, right?
The second time I woke up, there was no one else around, and I remember too when I called my parents as well, my mom prayed God's shalom over me, and it was a really good experience just feeling God's presence in that moment and knowing that He was with me, because it was really scary being in a foreign hospital all by yourself.
Then on Monday, they transferred you to the special COVID hospital.
It just didn't feel like home at all. I just wanted to be back with Peter, so I took whatever chance I could get to get out of there as soon as possible.
So we managed, though, to get out of there. So we just stayed quarantined in our apartment for 2 weeks or more, something like that, and we were both better, and then we went out. Anna, do we buy all these plants here? Oh. I'm just going to put this plant up here.
Why are you putting it up there?
Well, that's where it belongs. We have all the plants on the ground. We've been looking like fools.
What do you mean?
I mean, we've been looking like fools with plants on the ground.
Yeah, I hear it pretty good. Woo! Get your pants off the ground. Pants on the ground, pants on the ground. Looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
It was a week after we finished our quarantine. We went to a neurologist just to make sure that everything in my brain was okay because of how my brain sort of reacted to whatever it was. And so we went and talked to her. She did a test on me, and that test came back clear. So that was really good.
So that's that.
Yeah.
That's our story.
Yeah. If you would like to hear more detail and explanation of what happened, then feel free to watch our other video that is longer, and you can find that in the description linked below. Please don't be afraid to leave a comment below, and also please subscribe if you would like to hear more content of our travel experiences and our faith journeys.
Georgia, Anna, Georgia.